I am very proud to call him both my boss and my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, Mort Zuckerman.
I don't know, after listening to those comments, the one thought that came to mind was something that I've repeated in other situations. I told you 1,000 million times, don't exaggerate. Thank you very much for your generous comments, and thank you all for joining me today for the launch of the Zuckerman Scholars Program in Science and Technology Leadership. The concept came from an insight I had at 5 o'clock in the morning about 6 months ago when I couldn't sleep. That 5 a.m. awakening clarified the realization of how I would give practical expression to two deep emotions. First and foremost was profound gratitude for the way America, this great, unique country, embraced me as an immigrant 40, 50 years ago. I got my start in this promised land of America with a few friends and virtually no family, but was able to find acceptance, opportunity, and indeed success beyond anything I ever imagined. So this is one way for me to give back to America, an obligation that means a lot to me. The second deep emotion is my admiration for Israel, a country which is composed of many strands, its vision, its heroism, its enterprise, and its role as a model startup nation in every sense, advancing in the world of high tech under unbelievable duress and threats. The success of the real estate world enabled me to pursue my great passion, a fascination with cities and their capacity to sustain people of all varieties, something that was deepening when I taught urban design and planning at the Harvard and Yale schools of design for the better part of a decade. Out of that emerged an interest in public policy that had begun when I was in high school, one that was partially fulfilled later through the privilege of participating in major national publications such as the New York Daily News, U.S. News and World Report, the Atlantic Monthly, and Fast Company. The opportunity to join in the public dialogue by my own writing and by sustaining the writing of others really came through the mentoring of outstanding editors and journalists. Bill Whitworth, the great editor of the Atlantic Monthly, Brian Kelly, the extraordinary editor of U.S. News and World Report, who welcomed you this morning, Jim Rich, the outstanding new editor of the New York Daily News, and my colleague Bill Holliber, the remarkably talented and mature publisher who manages all of these enterprises, and last but not least, my great mentor in the world of journalism. Sir Harold Evans, the genius former editor of the Times of London, who is happily sitting right over there. I've been focusing in my writing in U.S. News about science, the economy, and public leadership, and how important it is to renew and re-energize the innovative spirit that generation on generation over 200 years has made the United States what it is. Secondly, I was inspired to being a catalyst of some kind to bring together talents for learning and discovery in two frontier democracies, America and Israel, both powerful high-tech countries, both strong democracies, both grounded in and guided by the principles of freedom and tolerance, both committed to exploring new frontiers of thought and discovery, and in science and technology, both open societies, welcoming immigrants. This would be a collaboration of thought and discovery that would protect, preserve, and enhance the abilities of their citizens and untold millions beyond. I was also inspired by the Rhodes and Harkness scholarship programs, which have achieved so much for the humanities. That prompted me to think of a similar scholarship and program in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. Why not a collaboration of outstanding students at the postdoctorate and graduate level with intellectual prominence and demonstrable qualities of leadership that could multiply their impact? In both the United States and Israel, the focus on science and technology has been the engine of their economic growth. Israel's breakthroughs in science and technology are renowned in everything from cancer research to particle physics to biotechnology and cybersecurity. The United States has long been the most innovative high-tech society in the world and in the history of the world. I was inspired by the possible benefits of collaboration, a cross-pollination, if you like, between scholars from these two adventurous nations. Collaboration is critical to creativity. With collaboration, 1 + 1 can equal 3. Witness the Wright brothers, or Wozniak in Jobs at Apple, Mark Andreessen and Jim Clark at Netscape, Boyer and Swanson in biotech, Sergey Brin and Larry Page at Google. And who knows what next might emerge from the unpredictable meeting of minds between Tel Aviv and New York, between Haifa and Harvard, between Yiddish and Yale. I couldn't resist, folks. I'm sorry. I wish to thank all of those who have collaborated to help me define and refine this program to make it a reality. My long-standing colleagues, the editors of U.S. News and World Report, and most warmly, I thank my nephews, Eric and Jamie Gertler, and another relative, David Robinson, a former member of the President's Science Advisory Council, who has given me wonderful advice and insight. I particularly want to acknowledge the presidents of the 4 leading research universities. Thank you all for the opportunity you have made possible. In my high aspirations for the Zuckerman Scholars, I salute the scientists and thinkers who will save and enrich untold lives. Winston Churchill said it best. We make a living by what we get. We make a life by what we give. Thank you very much.